are NV Board Gaming. Today we are taking a look at Everdell by James Wilson. It is a 1-to-4 player game by Starling Games. Vic's going to tell you how to play, and we'll be back with our review.
All right, we are set up here for a 2-player only game of Everdell. The game can play up to 4 players, but in this example I just have 2 sets of cards out. The first player would receive 5 cards and the second player receives 6 cards. If you're playing with 3 and 4, they would receive 1 additional card, so the third player would get 7, and the person who goes last, fourth, would go and get 8 cards. 8 cards is the limit that your hand can hold. You can never have more than 8 cards in your hand, so if you're ever given a card from an opponent because of a particular card action, or you're drawing, according to spaces on the board, these change, anything like that, you can't have more than 8. Also, what players are trying to accomplish is build a city, and the city contains constructions, which are these building cards, and they also contain critters. So for instance, there's a doctor here. So you'll be able to lay out 15 of those in total on your tableau, and some cards will allow you to discard cards for an ability, but other than that, you can never discard a critter or a construction that you have put into your city. And once a player has ran out of actions and gone through all the seasons, the game will be over for that player. But just because one player finishes the game, that doesn't mean the game is over. Players can continue as long as they have actions, or as long as they feel like doing an action. Maybe they don't want to, if there is a possible action but they don't want to do it, that's okay. They can decide when they want to end their game. But you have to go through all 4 seasons. So we start in the winter. We only have 2 players. Each player starts with 2. There's a maximum of 6 of these meeples for each player, but they're going to be on top of this tree here, and they're given to you per season. So once we finish winter, when you're out of available actions, or you decide to pass, you're able to enter spring and get an additional player token. Now, what does a round consist of? So you have 3 actions. You can either play a card from your hand, so in this case I have these cards here, or I can play a card directly from the meadow. And to play a card, you need to have the requirements that are printed on the left side. So if I want to build a farm, I need 2 wood and a resin, 1 resin. And you can get these materials by placing your worker on any of these default spots on the bottom, or on these randomly determined location cards here. One thing to note is that in a 2-player game, you only put 3 of these temporary cards out. In a 4-player game, you would be able to have all 4 out, and you'll notice that on this space, it denotes a 4-player icon. So any game with less than 4, you're actually only playing with that 1 available spot. Any spot that has an enclosed circle only allows for 1 player to go there in a round, but any that have an open circle can actually hold more than 1. So this one with a resin and a card, more than 1 person can go there. So you'll notice that that's a slight difference in a location. Some only take 1, or some hold an unlimited amount of meeples. So you can play a card, like I said, from the meadow or from your hand by satisfying the requirements on the left side of the card. And you can prepare for the season. So to prepare for the season, you can do the action where you just basically take this at the top of the, you take back all your workers that are out, and you do the action of spring, summer, or autumn, depending on the season that you're currently in. Like I mentioned before, you can end up progressing through the seasons faster than your opponent, so you might be in summer or autumn, and maybe your opponent somehow is still in spring. So those are the 3 actions available to you, and the whole purpose of this game is to score the points that are printed at the bottom of the card here. So you get a point for putting down the farm if you pay the cost. But another thing that's interesting is if you can place down the location, like this post office for instance, you are able to place the critter. You'll notice it says the postal pigeon goes to the post office. You place that critter for free. You don't pay the cost. And once you do place it, you actually put one of these occupied tokens out right down and below to show that that spot is occupied by a critter, and you're trying to build a tableau of 15 cards. And these have little bonuses at the bottom. I'll go through the card types here. The tan traveler icon would allow you to activate the bonus on the card immediately, never again. The green production activates once immediately, and then when you take the prepare for season action that I mentioned, you would gain those rewards again every time you do the prepare for season. The red destination paw print activates when you put a worker on it, so it's not enough to just play the card, you have to actually put a worker on it. And if it has an open symbol, opponents can visit it as well. The blue governance grants you bonuses after you play certain cards and offers different ways to play cards for a discount. So that's the one I mentioned where you may be able to discard a card from your city and enable another card to be placed. And the prosperity is worth base points listed and bonus points. So it might be, one point per unique critter or 1 point per unique construction, things like that. You'll see I won't spoil the cards in the deck. There are many in the deck that you can view. When you're drawing a card, you're always drawing it from this stack in the tree here, never directly from the meadow unless you're instructed to do so. And bonus events and events in general, special events, are here. So if you were to get 3 of those monument cards I showed you with the blue governance symbol, you would pick up this and you'd score 3 points for the end of the game, but you do have to place a worker for that season and occupy that spot. There's the same thing with 3 of the red destination cards, or you could take the green production. You need 4 of them to get this one, and 3 of the tan traveler to get the village there, the cartographer's expedition event. Bonus events are randomly distributed and they're sat up in the tree. And what you're looking to do here is get this combination of critters or locations. And anytime if you ever were to have let's say the cemetery and the shepherd, you would place your worker on that spot and claim this bonus event for yourself. At the end of the round, you retrieve your worker and you get to keep that card to score at the end of the game. It doesn't take up a spot in your city, so you still get to have up to 15 in your city. And that is how you play the game. You're basically just putting down cards, building your city, and as you progress, you gain more meeples according to the season. So 1 from spring, 1 from summer, and you draw 2 from the meadow, which can be right out here, the meadow. And the autumn season, you're going to get 2. So you'll eventually have 6 meeples in your hand to place a worker at. Spots down here, I'll let you take a look at yourself, but they all have the instructions written at the bottom. Like here, you would discard cards equal to the points you want to have, and only 1 player can go to these 3 here. And this is only in autumn that you can do it. You can't do it anytime before. This one here, you can discard any amount of cards from your hand, and every 2 you gain a resource, which the resources that help you build cards, as I mentioned, there's pebbles, berries, resin, and wood that are depicted on each card. Like I said, at the end of the game, you would just decide when you want to end it. As long as you finished all the seasons, you can choose to end the game. When you score, you're going to score points for whatever the base value is on your card. You're going to score for your point tokens that you've accrued, if you got any from any actions you took. And prosperity cards, so anything with a purple symbol, if you've met those requirements or you have them, you would be able to stack up and get points there. Any of your journey points, so if you've done any of these extras here, and events, if you've scored any of the events there, and the person with the most points will win the game.
Hey everyone, it is review time for Everdell. Sorry, my eyes are all red. I did a little bit of cocaine before the shoot. I'm just kidding. I did a lot of cocaine before this shoot. So this one, Everdell, we're going to score it right away this time. I'm going to give it an 8-6. I don't know why I'm going back and forth. If I want to talk about it first, then review it. It just feels natural to just tell you the score and then tell you what I think.
Exactly.
But then, yeah, I don't know. I guess you're supposed to reel people in and then wait for the score. Nah, I'm just going to give you the score and then I'll tell you if you want to listen. So most people are probably just scrolling past. What did Vic give it? I think that's the logic behind it. Anyway, 8.6. What I like, what I didn't like. What I like, it's a beautiful game. It's just gorgeous on the table. It's kind of a gateway. So if you were getting somebody in with, let's say, a game like Stone Age or Lords of Waterdeep or even Architects of the West Kingdom, maybe to an extent, this is the next step. This is what you do after Stone Age. This one incorporates cards that introduce different things. Now you're just adding a little bit extra to a worker placement game. So ideally, you'd get somebody in on a game like Stone Age, a straightforward worker placement game, and then give them this. But it kind of wants you kind of, in my opinion, I kind of want to jump right into this from whatever, Camel Up or something. Because it's just going to appeal to so many people. It's cutesy artwork. It also, you have a lot of good decisions in this game. So I do feel like it's like that borderway gateway. If is it the next step or is it the gateway? I don't know. It's right in between. Obviously, we're a little biased. We play a lot of games, so to us it seems maybe more gateway. But this can be overwhelming, I feel, if you are like you're not introduced into more modern board games. You mostly used to Scrabble and Monopoly. So this one might be a little too much. Might be. So maybe I would start with if you're able to play enough games with people, then maybe I'll start with Stone Age or something like that first before going to Everdell. Because I think they'll like Stone Age and like, oh wow, this one's even better because Stone Age just looks so dry and this one looks so vibrant and beautiful. That is a big a tree that really is useless, but it looks so nice. We barely use it. I mean, it's just there just to look cute, I guess. So yeah, that's a gimmick, sure, but it's still, it just pops. I mean, it pops on the table. The card play is really good. It scales well. We've played it at 2 and 4. We first played it at 4. Now we've been playing it at 2. So it does, and yeah, I mean, it works really well. Negatives, very lucky. You're at the mercy of the draw for sure. A lot of things aren't going to come up if you need combos. They might not come up. Your opponent might get them all, and you know you might have to discard some things. I mean, you have 8 card limit, and it's not where I get past 8 and then I can choose and draft, which I prefer. But this one keeps it more simple because you have 8, you just don't draw. So that just takes it out of your head. But there was a time when I had to look at 5, then I already had 8. I was like, 3 of these 5 are ones I really needed right now, and they're gone. So yeah, there is a lot of luck there. And usually in games that would make it a lower score for me, but it's just the decisions are still there for you. So I can't dock it that much because at least you're making decisions. I'm not just drawing cards and that's it. That's what it is. You still decide what you're going to play, how you're going to play it. You can get rid of cards. There's still things you can do. But yeah, it is quite lucky. So know that going into it, and I forgive it for the most part. So
yeah,
I approve.
I mean, when you contrast it to a game like Viticulture, which is also at the mercy of a draw in a way too, where like, do you get that order that you needed that matches the grapes you grew if you're like me and you went and made a rosé?
But you can just keep going. You can keep drawing. There's so many other things to mitigate in Viti.
Well, at least with Everdell, we didn't see every possible bonus action card.
Right.
But there are like, get a card, get this, draw 2 cards, discard cards, and then pick up equal to what you discarded. So there is ways that you can pick up, and even some of the critters have abilities with drawing cards on them, or maybe it's constructions, those cards in the meadow. I will score it right away. I'm going to give it an 8.3, very similar to Nick. Enjoyed this game a lot, very cute, good component quality. I'm surprised it took us so long to add it to our collection because we had first played it with Kim and Brian on the Dice Tower cruise, and it was late at night, and maybe I didn't have a full appreciation for the game because it was a little later in the evening.
I don't know why we're playing this late at night because, yeah, that's what my eyes are. It's not cooking. I'm a little tired.
Nighttime games.
Yeah.
But really, I wish I would have got it before, but we got a good price on it a couple weeks ago on Amazon. It had a good deal, so we jumped at that and got it, and really happy with the component quality. The quality of the cards is good. I like the replayability, the fact that it does change on the board. It's not always the same spots you go to, and the fact that some spots are open for more than one worker, others are closed. The fact that you can proceed through the seasons at a different pace than your opponent. So like,
yes,
awesome. Really cool. And the fact that you're not limited to just like, oh, you're out of workers, you're done now. No, you can keep going. You can pull people from the meadow. You can buy people from the meadow. That's nice. Because that really expands, I think, on the 8 card limit that you have in your hand. Because if you could only play cards from your hand, that's a little bit of a bummer. But there's always the risk, and Nick encountered this with me, that you wait too long to take that person from the meadow, and yoink, I got it. Also, it's nice that you have cards that are like, discard this guy from your city and get this for a discount. Really cool things to build up little engines, and then some, I don't count as a spot in your city. Oh, well, hello, wanderer. Hello, little guy. Come here. So there's cute little things. I like the production. stage. I like that you can produce and get all that great stuff that's on the cards with the leaf symbol. I like that you're able to replenish, so you're not starving for resources, because one thing that really annoys me in my gaming experience is not being able to get stuff I need to build things. Like, come on! If the whole game is me building stuff, don't make it like the hardest task in the world just to get some stuff. There are games like that. I think Pandoria is a bit like that, like where you need crystals or you need wood, and like, come on, but oh no, you gotta close it out. I don't want to do that. I just want to get the stuff. Gimme. And the fact that you can trade things is nice. Oh, you can trade cards for goods. You can, discard cards for points. Like lots of variability there. So yeah.
And another just a great point that Vic made about I should definitely touch on that. The fact that it keeps going. I don't have to wait to say like, okay, you finish your season like Viticulture does that. You have to wait for that season to be over. This one, I can just hop to the next season. Thematically, it doesn't make sense at all, but that's fine. Maybe we're in different parts of the world. I don't know. I don't know what the theme. A lot of things don't thematically make sense. We realize that when we play that. So, but that is a really cool mechanism that I can just say, all right, I'm doing my production. I'm going to autumn or whatever it is. I'm going to spring. I can decide that, and Vic can still be on another season. We don't have to be in the same season.
Mm-hmm.
It just flows better. Now it's everyone's turn, like as you'd expect. Not, I'm done with this season. I sit here. You keep doing your engine. Mm-hmm. No, I can leave the season whenever I want. As soon as I'm done with my workers, I'm out. I'm going next season. I want my stuff. We can do that. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That option is cool.
Yeah, I really like it. And one final thing I'll say, and I don't know if I mentioned before, being able to match the critter to the habitat or the house, the construction, is nice. That you can have to there's some forethought, but then sometimes you want the ability or the benefit from that critter, so you pay the berry cost to get that guy out. And, so you do have to kind of, again, make a decision about that. And so I appreciate that a lot. We really enjoy it. I highly recommend picking it up, especially if you can get it on sale, because it's really worth every dollar I think we spent on it for sure. We'll bring it to the table a lot more often. There's great expansions. We didn't get a chance to explore those in this video, but our friends at Better Half Reviews have great reviews about the expansions that there are to add to this game. I'm not sure we'll put the names of them on this video. Check those out. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you had a good one and enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel for more awesome gaming content. Thank you so much.